1400 years ago, in the heart of the Arabian desert, a man who could neither read nor write began reciting verses that would change the world. These words weren't poetry, they weren't philosophy, they were precise, profound, and they carried within them the secrets of the universe. Today, we call it the Quran. But here's the question. How could a book from the 7th century describe facts that scientists would only uncover centuries later? Is it coincidence or something divine? It's about evidence, about reason, about uncovering how the Quran, a scripture revealed over 1400 years ago, contained knowledge of modern science long before science itself caught up. Let's begin the journey. For centuries, scientists believed that the universe was static, that the galaxies were fixed in space. It wasn't until 1929, when Edwin Hubble looked through his telescope, that this view changed. He discovered that galaxies were actually moving away from each other. The universe was expanding. This finding reshaped our understanding of cosmology. But shockingly, the Quran mentioned this 14 centuries ago. The Quran says, "And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expander." The Arabic word used here is musi'un, derived from awsa, which means to expand. How could a 7th century man, living in a world without telescopes, satellites, or advanced physics, have known that the universe was expanding? This single verse stood untouched for over a millennium, until science finally caught up. Coincidence or a sign? The development of a human being inside the womb is one of the most complex processes in biology. Even today, it's a field of continuous research. But in the Quran, there are verses that describe this process in remarkable detail. And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump, and we made the lump into bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed him into another creation. These stages, nutfa, sperm, alaka, clinging clot, mudga, chewed lump, bones, then flesh, are exactly how embryologists today describe prenatal development. This verse drew the attention of renowned embryologist Dr. Keith Moore. After examining the Quranic descriptions, he concluded, "It is clear to me that these statements must have come from God or from a source that had access to such knowledge. How could an unlettered man in the 7th century describe microscopic development without a microscope?" Once again, the Quran leaves us stunned. In the oceans, when salt water and fresh water meet, they do not immediately mix. There is a distinct barrier between the two, with each maintaining its own temperature, salinity, and density. This phenomenon is known as estuarine circulation. It was discovered only recently with the advancement of oceanographic studies. Yet the Quran mentions this in Surah Ar-Rahman. He released the two seas, meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier they do not transgress. The Arabic term barzakh literally means a partition or barrier. How did the Quran know about this barrier? One that is invisible to the eye and only detectable with modern equipment. It's as if the Quran was describing not just the seas, but science itself. The Earth is shielded by a protective atmosphere, a layer that blocks harmful rays, burns up meteors, and preserves life. We take it for granted, but without this layer, life wouldn't exist. The Quran refers, "And we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they turn away from its signs." Modern science confirms this. The atmosphere absorbs ultraviolet radiation, reflects harmful solar wind, and maintains temperature. But who knew this back then? The Bedouins, the scholars of Greece, or was this knowledge beyond human discovery at the time? The Quran was accurate, even before science understood the question. Mountains are more than just elevated landforms. Geologists now understand that they have deep roots, extending into the Earth's crust like pegs anchoring a tent. This stabilizing function is crucial in minimizing earthquakes. The Quran says, "Have we not made the earth as a bed and the mountains as pegs?" The Arabic word autad means stakes or pegs. Geological research confirms this. Mountains stabilize tectonic movement. Again, the Quran mentions not only what mountains are, but what they do. Iron is one of the most essential elements for life. But did you know that iron didn't originate on Earth? It came from outer space, through massive stellar explosions known as supernovae. The Quran says, "And we sent down iron, in which is strong material, as well as many benefits for mankind." Notice the phrase "sent down." Not created on Earth, but sent down. A perfect match with modern astrophysics. How did the Quran distinguish iron from other earthly materials? Science validated this only recently. Earth is composed of multiple layers: crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. This was unknown to ancient civilizations, but Quran says, Allah is He who created 7 heavens, and of the earth, the like thereof. This could be interpreted as the earth having similar layered complexity as the heavens. Interestingly, some scholars believe this verse alludes to the geological layers. It's subtle, but stunning. Fingerprints are now used as the most reliable method of identifying individuals. No two humans have the same fingerprint pattern. Surah Al-Qiyamah. Does man think that we will not assemble his bones? Yes, we are able to put together in perfect order the tips of his fingers. Why mention fingertips? So specific, so seemingly irrelevant. Because they are unique. Because even 1400 years ago, the Quran hinted at a fact science only later confirmed. Bees play a crucial role in pollination, but what's more fascinating is their gender and behavior. Surah An-Nahl, and your Lord inspired to the bee, take for yourself among the mountains houses. The Arabic verb used here is in the feminine form, indicating that the working bees are female. Only modern biology confirmed this. Worker bees are, in fact, female. Coincidence or coded knowledge? Modern science confirms all living organisms are made primarily of water, and we made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe? Simple. Director. Scientifically accurate. A 7th century scripture stating what science would prove 13 centuries later. These examples are not meant to turn the Quran into a science book. They are signs, ayat. The Quran challenges humanity. Reflect, observe, understand. We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. You don't need to be a scientist to believe, but if you are, the Quran is already speaking your language. This documentary is a humble attempt to explore the harmony between revelation and reason, between the Quran and the cosmos, because sometimes the more you know about the world, the closer you get to the one who created it. Thank you for watching.